All right, if y'all don't mind taking your seat, we're going to get started. I know you're just I know everyone's very excited because we're actually going to see everyone in person tonight. So this is our second time doing the Williamsburg Forum in person. So thank you for coming today. We really appreciate it. I'm Adrian Hoosier with the Economic Development Board of Directors. It is my pleasure to be with you here today. We're very excited, and I know there's a couple people I wanted to recognize for coming and participating with us today. So the Mayor of City of Williamsburg, Doug Pons. We have City Council Member Ted Maslin and City Council Member Barbara Ramsey. I think is supposed to be online. Yeah. And so a couple other people. So Drew Lumpkin with the Office of Mark Warner. And then we're all here because we are committed to business and growth in the community. And so I wanted to connect you with a few key people for the City of Williamsburg in case you had things come up and you would like to work with them. So Yuri is our Director of Economic Development in the City of Williamsburg. Sean Dunn is our City Williamsburg Chief of Police. And we did have Michelle, but she had to pop over to a different meeting, so that's the Assistant City Manager as well. So I have the honor and privilege of introducing our speaker today, Laura Messer. I'm saying that right? Okay, perfect. Laura Messer is a Destination Development Specialist for the Virginia Tourism Corporation, but with a focus on the Chesapeake Bay and coastal Virginia regions, including the Eastern Shore. She previously spent 14 years with James City County working on tourism and marketing and economic development. And she has a master's degree from Arizona State University and a bachelor's in communications from George Mason University. And she is a Hampton Roads native and loves entrepreneurship and sharing good news. So we look forward to her presentation today.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I know lots of faces in this room, so thank you all for attending today. And just so you know, at the end, I have a handout. So in case you're like, oh, I need to know that, the handout has all the information you'll need. And it'll get emailed to our group. And so today I'd like to talk about supporting your business by partnering with Virginia Tourism. Of course. Put it down. Sorry, technical difficulties.
Better setup. There you go.
You might yeah. Thank you. Sorry about that, y'all. And so I work for Partnership Marketing, which is a division of BTC. Our goal is to help Virginia's communities maximize their tourism potential. And so there are 6 of us that serve in the same role that I do across the state. And we try to help localities, businesses throughout the state really maximize tourism, strategic planning, business development, cooperative partnership marketing opportunities. Really, we are here to work with staff like Yuri and Joanna, Kate from James City, really work to help tourism businesses and tourism related businesses. And so just as a fun fact, in my department, there are 15 of us, and all together, we have 193 years of experience at Virginia Tourism and an additional 79 years of tourism related experience. So certainly if I don't know the answer, someone on my team is able to help and assist with everything. And so this is just a map sort of the state, how we divide it out. And so I'm this blue region here, which includes everything from Gloucester all the way to Colonial Beach, which is in Westmoreland and King George, and then also the Eastern Shore. As you can see, sort of the Golden Crescent, as it's referred to, nobody has a destination development specialist there because we are focused on helping rural communities. Richmond staff helps, of course, Richmond and Northern Virginia, and then I help with coastal Virginia, and also Stacy Martin, who is the grants manager, who some of you may know. She was previously the destination development specialist for the role that I'm in. She helps a lot with the South Side, so Norfolk, Virginia Beach. And so tourism in Greater Williamsburg, I wanted to go ahead and give a brief overview sort of on the outlook. The thing that's important to note here is that we don't have 2021 data yet. 2020 data is what we have. And so these are, not the best numbers, but the new 2021 data will be out around Labor Day. So in about a month, we'll have the the data showing sort of the beginnings of recovery. And so in terms of statewide fast facts about tourism, there were 29.3 million overnight visitors in 2020 and 17.5 billion in visitor spending across Virginia, 1.4 billion in state and local tax revenue, and then 3.1% of the gross domestic product for the state was tourism related. So you can see these are all declines from 2019, of course, because of the pandemic. And so some of you may be familiar with this economic impact chart. This is the city of Williamsburg's that shows 2016 through 2020 data. Of course, the big declines from 2019 to 2020, again, we know why that happened, unfortunately. And so this will be included. You'll be able to look at these numbers if you haven't seen them before in this slide deck that's posted afterwards. So the same thing in James City, of course, declines across the board. We are very aware of that. And also the same thing in York County. Everybody had declines, the whole state had declines. You know, it's just something that it'll be really exciting to see how much recovery happened when the 2021 numbers are released. So this is a pretty interesting slide, I think, in my opinion. This shows sector expenditures in the city of Williamsburg. So you can see the breakdown in different categories. So lodging, recreation, transportation, food and beverage, and retail. So you really can see the shrinkage due to the pandemic in this depiction here. And so if you look at the yellow, which is lodging, it went from $108 million to $43 million in 2020. So again, though, the interesting thing here too is, you know, you see the big breakdown. There is sort of an equal split. Well, it used to be more equal of, you know, food and beverage and lodging, both are big numbers. So it's just one sector that is dominating the tourism industry here in the city of Williamsburg. And so for those of you that don't know, I just thought it would be interesting to include some of the top 50 employers in the region. And so we've got Colonial Williamsburg, of course, hotels, Sodexo, multiple restaurants, both locally owned and national chains in Williamsburg. James City has Cook Gardens, Jamestown, York County Foundation, Diamond Resorts, the Winery, Whisk, multiple hotel properties and golf. And then York County has Water Country, Wyndham, and then Jamestown, Yorktown Foundation again. And so this chart shows tourism jobs in Greater Williamsburg. So the red is 2018, blue is 2019, and green is 2020. So of course we see sort of, you know, the shrinkage across the board for all localities in 2020. And we all know that was in part due to furloughs, because a lot of those attractions all had to close down and furloughed hundreds, if not thousands of workers, depending on the location. And so now that I've painted sort of a sad picture, unfortunately, I want to talk about different BTC resources that are available to businesses and to localities. And so if you don't learn anything today, the most important thing for you to know is that free listings are available on Virginia.org. Virginia.org is BTC's website that is consumer facing. It is on license plates, it's on all the marketing we do. Virginia.org gets over 16 million visitors a year. And so businesses can apply for a free listing that essentially advertises their business. There's a paragraph, you can include pictures. Having a free listing is critical to your business, and making sure that listing is up to date is super important. And so again, all the links will be on a handout that you guys will receive. And so Virginia.org is super important. It's the most important thing for a business that's in the tourism sector. Everything from a winery to a boutique cabin, they can all be listed on Virginia.org. BTC orientation. This is a free service that BTC offers. It gives a really high-level overview of all the different divisions, all the resources that we have available. And so orientation is held twice a year. It's free. It's virtual now. You know, we all did learn that some things are better virtual. And so BTC orientation is over 3 days from 9 to noon. And anyone can sign up. So if you own a business and you want your front desk person to sign up, or your marketing person, anyone can attend. And so it's a really great resource that gives a really good overview of BTC services overall, everything from communications connections to sales, depending on what your business is.
Is that done around the state or is that?
It's all virtual now, and so anybody from across the state, it used to be held in Richmond twice a year, and so then there were travel costs that took into play, and so the fact that it's virtual now has made it more accessible, even to smaller businesses. It's a really good opportunity. BTC Research is another really big thing that we offer. Like I said, the economic impact numbers that I've shown you, that's all through the research department. The research department also puts together visitor profiles, sort of reasons people spend time here in Virginia. They do a really great job of looking at the analytics and figuring out the trends. And so the VTC research page has all sorts of lodging reports, economic impact reports, really great information that's accessible to anybody. And so that's on our industry website. So that's vatc.org. So we have virginia.org for consumers and vatc.org for industry partners, businesses. Lots of great information there. Additional resources. And so the destination development specialists are a resource. I'm happy to talk to any business, whether they need marketing advice or they need some help in figuring who they need to talk to. Throughout the state, my other colleagues and I all work with localities and businesses individually. We have the Drive Outdoor program, which some of you may be familiar with. It really helps localities and DMOs work on different things. The newest Drive program, which was announced last week, maybe the week before, is all geared towards outdoor recreation development. Something that Virginia Tourism has seen is something that's really important in helping drive visitation. And so we're going to focus on that with the Drive Outdoor program, which comes with between $10,000 and $20,000 for completing the program. Signing up for BTC newsletters and PR leads. It's how you can stay connected with Virginia Tourism and really be aware of the different initiatives and the things that are going on. Sharing your photography with VTC as a business, you have the best pictures of your business. You know what your assets and your strengths are, and sharing those with BTC so that we can use them in our marketing and social media is something that a lot of people don't think about, but it's really important. Using our photo library. Sometimes, localities particularly may need a photo, and we have a library that's accessible for everybody to use. All these pictures in my presentation of the city of Williamsburg all came from that library. And so both sharing your photography and then using the library are both very important. Co-op advertising opportunities. VTC offers discounted rates for businesses depending on the sort of medium. And so we do some Google AdWords, and there's some Facebook co-ops and TripAdvisor as well. So we do offer a lot of those. And lastly, the Governor's Tourism Summit, which this year will be in November in Norfolk, is a really great educational opportunity for businesses, localities, DMOs to all attend and learn more about sort of the trends and really, network with folks across the state, because I think some of the best things that we can learn are all from other folks. Instead of recreating the wheel, really working together across the state to help tourism. So the part that everybody always loves, grants, money. And so the first thing I want to talk about is the new micro business marketing leverage program. It just opened last week on August 4th. It's available to tourism businesses that have 20 or fewer full-time employees. And it's really geared towards focusing on marketing during the shoulder seasons. So this program is new this year. The grant period is open through September 20th. The maximum grant award is $5,000 and it's reimbursable. So if a business were to apply and get funding, they wouldn't get it until after they completed their program and they submitted their final report. But it is a really good opportunity for smaller businesses because of the sort of criteria for 20 or fewer employees. And so this is new. We're all very excited about this because it makes the marketing leverage program more accessible for smaller businesses that need assistance. Virginia's for Lovers Art Program grant. This is for LoveWorks, and this program can be used by both localities, DMOs, and private businesses. So if a private business were to say, we want to put a mural inside our lobby, that's a LoveWork. There is a reimbursable grant program for anybody to apply, $1,500. And so the thing is, that for this program, it does have to meet some specific height requirements. It does have to have an impact. I mean, I think everybody's aware of the different love works across the state. And so the good thing about this grant program is that it's always available. And so it's not like there's a specific time period. And so one thing that I think is super fun, my second favorite slide of this, is throughout the state, there are 314 love works as of yesterday. So look at that. I mean, it's just crazy to think. And so that's one good thing about a love work is if one is installed at a business, then it gets put on this Google map that people visit. And so I think one thing that I love is whenever I'm in a place, seeing where the love work is, going, taking a picture just because they're fun. And so the Love Work Grant Program is a really good opportunity for businesses. And a lot of times businesses don't realize that they can also apply. And so in addition to the micro business marketing leverage program, we do have a traditional marketing leverage program that's offered annually. This next round will be in early 2023. It's open to everybody, so even larger businesses can apply. Depending on the event and some of their criteria, I think that can be $20,000 depending on the applicant. And so also a really great opportunity for businesses to maximize their grant, their marketing money through it. Collaborating with BTC. One of the most important things, I think, for tourism, and my department as a whole thinks, is working together. So I really want to strive to create partnerships for businesses, to work with other businesses. I think a recent example is, I was reached out to about some aquaculture growers who want to connect with restaurants. And so working collaboratively, I think, makes everybody stronger. And so I'm happy to work with any business in the Williamsburg region. Like I said before, my department, I can offer strategic tourism planning, technical assistance with grants and research, because I do have access to a lot of back-end data too for points of interest across the state. And then product development guidance, cooperative marketing advice, consulting services, and partnership ideas. I know that Kate can speak that I love collaborating and I love partnerships. I think that together we're all stronger. And so I'm happy to work with any business or locality that wants to come up with new ideas, whether it's a barbecue trail throughout the greater Williamsburg region or, just helping connect dots. So I'm really here to help any business in greater Williamsburg that is interested in getting help. And so that's my presentation. I'd be happy to take any questions. I think Adria is going to assist with questions from the chat if there are any. My contact information is here, and then it's also on the handout that will be mailed out. And I have business cards and physical handouts for those here in the room. Thank you guys so much.
Laura, I have a question.
Sure, Heather.
How does your organization get funded? Is it from the state level?
It is. We have state level funding that's up in the budget approved each year. The BTC is sort of an authority under the state, so we're associated just like BDP. BDP and BTC work together. Okay, let's go Ted first and then Yuri.
Laura, could you talk about the gap between hospitality jobs and hospitality workers, and then also where are we in terms of international workers that we used to rely on?
And so in terms of employment, I think we know across the board, hospitality is struggling. VRLTA, the Virginia Restaurant, Lodging, and Tourism Association, they're really spearheading a lot of those workforce efforts because they are able to advocate, whereas BTC, we are sort of, prohibited from advocating. So VRLTA does a lot of work in that atmosphere, doing continuing education and helping create training programs. They're working with a lot of different community colleges throughout the state with sort of hospitality training and helping in that aspect. So, we don't have a crystal ball certainly about where tourism, hospitality issues are going to go in terms of workforce, but we are all aware that employers are struggling. And then what was the second part of your question?
So remember, we used to rely on the international workers in hospitality. Is that coming back?
That has come back tremendously. I know that here in greater Williamsburg area, Busch Gardens has J1 visa students this year. Great Wolf has J1 visa students this year. That has made a comeback, and VRLTA has helped advocate for more of those students being allowed to come here to travel or to work.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yuri,
Any idea when you'll have the 2021 numbers?
Labor Day.
Labor Day, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll make sure I can send an email to you when they come out. Yes, Debbie.
Two things. First of all, I just wanted to stress the importance of VRLTA. I know with the Restaurant Association, we partner with them.
Yeah.
I mean,
They're a great resource.
But for others as well, they're just a tremendous source. So they're sort of the lobby arm for VTC. And by staying in touch with them, where we can get trends that are happening all over the state of Virginia in real time. They have a great team. And the second thing is with the Welcome Center, in particular East Coast Gateway Welcome Center, which is ours and the best in the state of Virginia. They used to, prior to COVID, they had the kiosk. So if you were on vatc.org and had your listing and went to the kiosk, then if you touched, your listing would come up.
Yes.
And the kiosks have gone away.
Yes.
And are they gonna come back or?
I am not sure about that. Just due to the volume of the folks that flow through those gateways, they still are being very COVID cautious because it is a traveler. And so staff all at the Welcome Centers, they're all still wearing masks all the time, just because of the nature of what they do. And so I do think some of that will change, but the Welcome Centers are a really good marketing opportunity.
Awesome, I highly recommend them.
Yeah, and that's one thing that during orientation, BTC orientation, you learn about sort of all the different departments and divisions, and it gives a pretty high level overview. So if there is something that interests you, like partnering with Welcome Centers to do marketing, that's discussed pretty heavily during orientation for a section. So orientation, other than Virginia.org, orientation is something I highly recommend. When I was a locality and I had just started in my tourism position, I went to the orientation that was physically held in Richmond, and it was just a great resource. And the different divisions have a representative talk, which is also really helpful because you meet those folks that deal with those departments specifically that can answer the questions.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Debbie. Other questions from maybe people I don't know? Rick.
First of all, thank you, Laura.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. My question to you, as you travel around, how are we doing relative to other areas that you're responsible for? And is there anything that we should be doing that you see successful in other places?
I really just think that, Williamsburg is very fortunate in the fact that they have a very large budget. I know that this group, Vicki Semino with the Williamsburg Tourism Council presented a few months ago. Williamsburg's doing very well, because of their marketing. But just continuing to support entrepreneurs and smaller businesses, I think, is really critical. Making sure that the new businesses are aware of the resources from the locality, from the DMO, and also from the state, I think is something that's really critical that a lot of people, it is an extra step, certainly, not only making sure that a new business has their permits they need, making sure they're following all the zoning and, signage, all that, but also making sure they're aware of marketing resources through both Visit Williamsburg and the state is pretty critical. Like I know I saw this morning on the Great Williamsburg Eat Local group. If you don't follow that, it's a great resource. There's a new coffee shop opening in Toano, and it's like, it's a small new business, making sure that, those small businesses are aware of the opportunities that are available is really great. I mean, I personally try to reach out to businesses when I see them with just sort of a, here's a Virginia.org listing, here's the next orientation. If you need anything, I'm happy to help. So I do try to do that too, just because coming from a locality, I really understand the need for that, for positive public relations for businesses.
Any other questions for Laura? Well, thank you, Laura.
Thanks.
And hopefully that was an extremely valuable presentation that really helped us look at how can we all commit to maximizing tourism here. So thank you for going over all those resources and grants and ways that we can collaborate both together and with your organization. So I appreciate that.
No problem.
I'm going to hand it over to Yuri to do an Economic Development Authority minute real fast.
So thank you everyone for joining us. It's really nice to be back in person. So the only thing I wanted to share around today is that we have released our 2021 annual economic impact report. So I encourage you to flip through these pages. It's a really great way to see all the awesome things that our department and the EDA do throughout the year. So I will pass these around. I have extra copies if anyone needs them, and it's also available on our website. And with that, I am done.
All right, well, this concludes, I don't have the number, I think we lost count with COVID. We used to say what number we were for the roundtables.
151.
151, okay, this is our 151st roundtable, so thank you for joining today, and I hope that you make it a great day to do business in Williamsburg and enjoy the hot weather.
Thank you.